never enter one chance, I swear, oh, now go with the go so, go for the go so. Yes, men, they kill us every day, for them busy, they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, then they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we they here they run to? Who be that? I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat jealous. Something on the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause my time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come more. It is very close and they feel more. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collected bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. But now them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.
Kiwe wesu garani orianja nine oria nine nke purita kwa samado dendo n'ihi na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye na-agwọ ọrịa anyị wee na-akpọkụ gị onwe gị bụ simile nke ndị agha ka igwe mere anyị ebere ka akwa nke anyị na-ebe ka ude nke anyị na-asụ wee bịa n'iru gị ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee guzosi ike ka anyị wee n'ikpete mazụ nye ha sọgotụtara nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'ebighị ebi maruo n'ebighị ebi ise mma mma dịrị gị Chineke mama dịrị Chineke.
If I go about deliberately looking for who to disturb, who is going about deliberately looking for who to disturb? You say never go about. Then you don't need to go about. They will come. They will come for you. You don't need to go about. What did our leader say about these people? I want you to listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Say, please don't go about looking for trouble. Chai! The Shoji. Mad people everywhere. I want you to listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
That the structures doesn't exist. The institutions that will allow the emergence of a
rather than going on now. Now, let me ask you. I know. Why don't your group put?
For those who will always say, "Oh, why don't you win election? Why don't you bring somebody who is going to win election for you? Why don't you go to national conference? Why don't you do this?" Listen to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu answered.
Push for that in a place like the national conference that is going on now to get that kind of autonomy first, rather than now pushing for independence without whether Nigeria wants it or not.
The fact of the matter is that the structures doesn't exist. The institutions that will allow the emergence of a democratic Biafra within a peaceful setting does not currently exist in that very place you call Nigeria. Mind you, that is the name of a river. Up north, you call them Niger, which is French. If you come down a little bit, it is called Niger, which is English. And the people that live around it are called Nigerians. The only place, or part of the only place in Black Africa where you name a people after a river. I have never seen any civilized country in the world where people are named after a river. It's never happened before. The people own the river, not the other way around. By tacitly accepting the word and the tag Nigeria, what it means is that you never had any history until Frederick Lugard came, which is a fallacy, it's an abomination, and nobody should be saying that. Coming back to what you said, there is no way we can run for office as a political party. We tried it with ABGA and it did not work. These issues were trashed out very well. Is that the people that control the levers of power within Nigeria are not politically sophisticated enough to appreciate the finer points of political discourse. In other words, that disputes resolution can best be conducted within a political setting where people are civilized. And I'm afraid to say that what I see in the zoo they call Nigeria, people are not civilized.
Now, we're out of time, but let me ask you, last week, I believe, the Biafran Zionist movement claimed a responsibility for the attack at the attacks in the Enugu State Government House. Are you familiar with that group, and what was the mission of that attack?
I am familiar with a lot of groups. That name rings a bell. Anybody that can do anything to disrupt the present orthodoxy of governance by a group of very corrupt cabals is welcome. In that regard, I welcome what they did at Enugu, and I hope that people can come out and join us when the time comes to overthrow the very corrupt, inept old men and women in charge of that very place, because Biafra must exist. It's our right to make sure it happens.
All right.
While Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not condemning any group, while Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not condemning any group whatsoever, just like I am supporting any group at all, so long as you are fighting against Nigeria. While Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not condemning any group, the people that claim follow him today, they say Simon Ekpa is a terrorist. Simon Ekpa is this. Simon Ekpa is that. After 10 good months of fighting Simon Ekpa, they didn't achieve anything. After 10 months of fighting Simon Ekpa, they didn't achieve anything. Yet, they are now changing tone. Simon Ekpa is a terrorist. Simon Ekpa is the leader of a non-government. Chai! This OG. And they are looking for freedom. You see, the more you blackmail me, the more you are blackmailing yourself. You think you are blackmailing me. You are blackmailing yourself. You don't know that? When the BBC came and do their nonsense disinformation, is it only Simon Ekpa that they showed his picture? Is it only Simon Ekpa? You all were there. All of you were there. You could not even defend yourself. The same Simon Ekpa you are calling all manner of names defended you there. And let me tell you, even when they mentioned Simon Ekpa, the issue they mentioned Simon Ekpa, there was not even, I can defend anything I say. All of you, you could not defend yourself, yet, you blackmail me. You think that when you blackmail me, when they want to call name, they call only Ekpa. All of you, your picture were there. Did you see my picture in the write-up? No. My picture was my video was hidden in the video. But all of you, your picture was there. Every day you look for Simon Ekpa, you post. Simon Ekpa is one porter. Simon Ekpa is a Perima. Simon Ekpa is this. When the thing begin to happen, you think it doesn't, they will call you. And when the issue started, you could not defend yourself. You couldn't defend yourself. BBC did not say it was Simon Ekpa. BBC put your picture, all of you, as you were blackmailing Simon Ekpa, they did not say it was, they put all of your picture. So this one, they say, we are going to kill this one, we are going to kill that one. All of your picture was there, your video was there. Yet, you will wake up every day to blackmail Simon Ekpa. And every day, if you don't, of course, some of you can never learn. Hatred and jealousy of Simon Ekpa have beclouded the brain that you don't even have at all. I do not know when they are going to learn. They think when they promote Simon Ekpa by calling Simon Ekpa criminal, the BBC will come and say Simon Ekpa. All of you, the more you are calling me a terrorist, the way you are calling me a terrorist is the same thing you are calling yourself. You think when you be a terrorist, oh, Jesus Christ. This BBC disinformation should have teach all of you a lesson. You think when you come to social media because you hate me, because you are jealous of me, because you don't like me, you think when you call me criminal, you are going to pay for everything you say. You are going to pay. You carry my name and blackmail. Simon Ekpa is the leader of a non-government. Simon Ekpa is this one. Simon Ekpa is that one. You see the way BBC is dealing with you people? If anything is going to happen anywhere, you are going to also be dragged into it. And you can't even defend yourself. It's the body boss. It's in Pataka everywhere. Get yourself educated, you say no. Go to school, you say no. Simon Ekpa every day. Simon Ekpa every morning. All right, we are going to stop.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on this evening section of our program. I appreciate every one of you that has connected wherever you are connecting from. I thank you for being part of the program. We have come once again, as we always do, to do the needful. What do we do here? We come here to make case for Biafra. That is what we do every day when we come here. In this very platform where you are watching this program, we don't come here to instigate violence. We do not come to this platform to preach hate. We do not come here to support any party or group. We do not come here to promote any human being. We don't come here to attack any race or religion. What we do in this platform is to promote the cause of Biafra, to present Biafra before the whole world as a remedy. What we do here is to expose the lies that the government of Nigeria are telling against Biafra. We expose the atrocities of the Janjaweed against the Biafra. The secret war they are fighting, we expose it. That is why we are in this platform and in all other platforms where we are. We are not here for saga. We are not here to attack anybody. But we are here to speak up and let the world know what is going on in our territory and what our choice is. So I appreciate everyone that has joined us on this program, wherever you are joining from. I welcome you. In this platform, everybody is welcome. If you have a superior argument, do click the link and join us. We must speak on the same voice. I am not here to cajole you or to force you into believing what you don't want to believe. You are entitled to your opinion. If you have a superior argument, the only thing you can do is touch the link, join us, and argue your line of thought. Bring up that superior argument. The only thing we ask is that when you come, appear in a decent manner. If you are speaking to us, please do not insult anybody, don't abuse anybody. Speak in a very civil manner, and the world is watching. Make your point. Whatever your opinion and your point is, you are entitled to it. You have the duty and responsibility to convince us to believe what you are saying. We also have the responsibility to convince you to believe our line of thought. So whenever we come on this platform, it is a platform where we share information, share views, express ourselves, and we will continue to do so. Remember, our evening program is always a quick one. We don't waste too much time on the evening program. We do it as fast as we can, and we allow people to go and take their rest and do what they had to do. We have already had our morning program. And this evening program, we have chosen a topic which says the forced amalgamation, why Nigeria must end and Biafra must rise. The forced amalgamation, why Nigeria must end and Biafra must rise. Every one of us know that we are forced into the entity called Nigeria. In fact, not only the Biafran people, every single person that is part of that Nigeria today, including those one Nigerians who are in the front line of pushing the agenda of Nigeria, they never signed up for it. No indigenous person signed up for Nigeria. That is the established truth. It's a verifiable truth that anybody can verify. Nigeria is the plan of the British, the thought of the British, single-handedly, without any input from those indigenous people from that area. This is the fact established. So if you don't know about it, if you are from any other part of the world, you can equally make inquiry. The Google is there for you to use and Google. Make your research and find out, how did Nigeria come to existence? It was just a company established by the British to run their business for economic interest in the West African countries. Not just in West African countries. And they decided to form that company, to use that company to continue to manipulate and push things towards that direction. And that is what they did. And from then onwards, they went ahead to force people to be together in Nigeria as Nigerians, even when they know that the people in Nigeria did not sign up for it. From the onset till now, people have continued to manage that entity called Nigeria. They try to force themselves to be part of it. But from every indication, it has not worked. It cannot work and will never ever work, because it was the plan of the British and the British alone. It cannot work because there is nobody that is a Nigerian. All these people you see online making noise, claiming to be one Nigeria and all this, there is nobody that is a Nigerian. Nobody is a Nigerian. That is why nobody can make a sacrifice for Nigeria, including the Obasanjos, those you call your founding fathers and elders. None of them can put their life on the line for Nigeria. Never. Nobody. And that is why sometimes when you see revolution in other countries, and some of you wish it will happen in Nigeria, it will never happen. A revolution will never happen. Nobody will put his life on the line for Nigeria. And you can see that Nigeria itself is using the citizens as sacrifice. And each time they use the citizens as sacrifice, they don't feel sorry for it. They are unapologetic and they are ready to do it again and again at different points in time. It has been proven that whenever you give your life or die because of Nigeria, you have just died in shame. You have just died in vain. Anytime you lose your life in the name of one Nigeria, you have lost your life in vain. And there are evidences pointing to that. That is why the Biafran people have chosen the way out. And the Biafran people have made up their mind that they will never be part of this evil entity called Nigeria. We will never, ever be part of it. Whoever wants to be the part of Nigeria can continue. Whoever wants to run it can continue. But as for Biafrans, we will not be part of it. And when we talk about the unacceptability of Nigeria, it is not just the Biafran people. Every ethnic group in the Zoological Republic can attest to the fact that Nigeria is not a nation and will never be a nation. In as much some of them have lost their voice, some of them are scared, they are afraid, and they cannot do what we are doing. Some of them know what we know, but they cannot speak in the open. But those of us, the Biafran people, who were born brave and are ready to take the bull by the horn, we will continue to speak truth to the authorities. Because Nigeria is a fraud that we must not be allowed to see the light of the day. A fraud that is taking innocent lives. Inasmuch as the rest people are not bold enough to confront this fraud. But we, the Biafran people, are ready to confront it. And that is why we are confronting it every blessed day. Making it very clear that Nigeria is not meant to be and will never be. Those who are pretending can continue to pretend. Those who are dreaming can continue to dream. But we, the Biafrans, we live in reality. And in that reality, we are saying things the way they are, without missing words. That Nigeria is not built to survive. Nigeria is not built for indigenous people. Nigeria was created by the British and for the British interests. So no matter how you try to fix yourself into the British interests because of your selfish interests, because you feel it favors you, you continue to support that evil. You are going to pay dearly. And the result of continuous stay in the Zoological Republic is what you are seeing today: insecurity in all parts of the country. Insecurity in all parts of the country. That is the result. And this insecurity will continue again and again and again. So, my fellow Biafrans, wherever you are at this moment, every one of us must continue to bring the light to the world. Continue to expose the atrocities of the Janjaweed, the forceful amalgamation by British, and the lie they have painted everywhere to make it look like truth. We are not Nigerians, has never been Nigerians, and will never be Nigeria. Nigeria is not a country. It is a death trap to enslave indigenous people of the land. And we will not continue to be there. This is not just said by Biafrans. Other people from other regions have made the same confessions. At one point in time, various regions and various tribes has confessed to the fact that Nigeria was not meant to be. But some of them do not have the balls to pursue it and follow it up. But we, the Biafrans, know what we want, and we are following up. That is why we can never chicken out. We can never run away. And I'm going to share some videos to confirm to you that some people, some other people who are not even Biafrans, are aware of this wickedness and trials. And they are joining their voice to our own voice also, so that it wouldn't be that only the Biafrans are speaking. That is why we bring you information from all angles. We bring videos made by Biafrans, videos made by non-Biafrans, so that you can begin to make your comparison. When you compare, you make your decisions, and you understand that whatever we, the Biafrans, are fighting for is not out of selfish interest, is not out of ignorance. It is what is right to do. And I want you to listen to this very video.
I don't need to be rude. I don't want to be rude to anybody, and I don't want to disrespect anybody, and I don't want to insult anybody. What I'm saying is that it is the real truth. The real problem of Nigeria, are Northerners. Northerners, Fulani, Hausa are the problem of Nigeria. They don't want our Nigerian progress. If they are not the one in power, then nobody can do it. It's only them that can do it. If you say you deprive Igbo people from having what is supposed to be theirs, allow them to go for their Biafra. If you say Yoruba people are not competent, they cannot rule Nigeria, allow them to go. Then we, the Northerners, should just stay and rule ourselves. If we kill ourselves, that's our business. You cannot say no, because Igbos, you think Igbos are thieves, Igbos are wicked, Igbos are this, they are that, they are this. There is no way that there is not the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you cannot help the Igbos, allow them to go. If you cannot carry the Yorubas, if you don't want them to rule you, allow them to go. Then we, the Northerners, will rule ourselves. If it's going to be better. We are one Nigeria, so we want the best for Nigeria. So we should look at where we are going wrong so that we can perfect it.
Minister of Works went to Sokoto. He's telling Sokoto that the job will start from Badagry to Sokoto 2027. You did it before. We can't do it. We cannot vote Tinubu. We can't vote hungry. We can't. How many votes do you bring from Iboy as a governor Omahi? Your Excellency, how many votes do you bring from Iboy during the campaign? How many votes? Even for your vote from the East as well, Tinubu will not become a president. We vote Tinubu from the North, so you can't tell us what we know what to do to remove him 2027. Serious. You can't command anybody in Sokoto. Who are you? Because they give you contract of 15 trillion. You say Sokoto? Who are the contractor of that company? What is the name of the company from Badagry to Sokoto Road? And why did they start? Where did they put their bulldozer? You are telling people a story, lie. You are a liar. And God will ask you that in what you are telling people. It is no good. And now you revoke contract to Kaduna for the road. Where are the contractors? Which contractor do they give the road? From Okonga to Jos, problem. From Jos to Bauchi, Gombe, all. After what's out to Maiduguri, that problem. Where do they do the road? From below here, if you are going to Kalba, the problem. From here, if you are going to no road you commission as a minister. Before when you come, you are visiting the home site, putting sea helmet, within what I will do this. So this is just one time campaign. Why don't you go campaign for Sokoto? We cannot vote Tunumbu for 2027 from the north. We cannot. It's like that we die. We cannot vote hungry. So funny that the only appointment where it is appointing Yoruba from Lagos, not from Ogun, not from Mondo. Then we go voting for what? This person who is taking one side. Okay, why they not arrest Sunday ago? He wants a protest in London. Tinubu doesn't know they arrest him. But they are sending security to arrest Bello Bodejo, arrest Kanu. People who are standing for their people, they want to arrest them because this one is a Fulani, this one is an Igbo one. The Sunday ago is patrol, even is making a party yesterday. He threw a party in Ibadan. He was not arrested. Somebody is preaching for Adudra. Then you want us to vote again. Then when we vote for 2027, what will come out? Then what we are afraid, and then this person, the same person want to change vehicle every year. The president every year will change vehicle. Food alone for presidency is 49.6 trillion for food, billion for food alone for president. Then you want to change vehicle every year. Do you come to change the vehicle or you come for function or you come to work for Nigeria? Mr. President, I campaign with you. You know me, I know you. You say we should give you Nigeria. There's a new hope. Where is the new hope? All you tell us is not true. And you say you suspend all your activities in Lagos. Okay, you suspend that because people die on the food. What do you send the food for them to celebrate the Christmas? You have no activities there in Lagos. You just go there to rest. What's your activities? You say, just a pity, Your Excellency. You don't have any activities there. You go there to rest. And people die for hunger because they want to get the food. Do you send the food for those people so that brother can go for Christmas? No. You say suspend the activities. That cannot solve the solution. We expect you to send like 100 or 300 trailers to that area so that people can go for Christmas everywhere in Nigeria because of this shameful something that happened, which the world have seen it. Because it has seen it is under already. This is the first time that Nigerian, the giant of Africa, people will die for food inside crowd because of food. You will die. It's a shame. Not war, not anything. Then you are talking about voting. No security in Sokoto, no security in Zamfara, no security in Kaduna. Then people are dying. They cannot follow the road travel. Then you say we know what to do 20. Thank God you say we know what to do. 20 to 27 before 12 Oga, you don't go. You and your Oga will go and we will investigate you. Mind you, after that, we'll investigate all the money you collected from Ministry of Works. Beware. Because I have the total, all the money given to you. So beware, you will visit EFCC after we come up 2027. By 12 o'clock, your Oga, you follow, maybe you vote you and Igbo and Lagos, but not for not. We can't vote him. We can't force him. Who are you? Even to tell us whom to vote. Who are you? Who are you? You are challenging us all the Lord. Who are you? What qualification do you have? I'm having the PhD. You can't compare with the engineer. You say you are engineer. Engineer to who? You are engineer for Igbo. People are fighting between your border and Benue. What do you do to that solution? Do you go there and visit the place that you see? Do you commission any route as a minister since you come? No. Then you expect us again saying what you are telling what to do in Sokoto. We should vote. You are not. Your campaign is nonsense. We can't vote 2027. We are taking Tunumbu out. We can't vote where a Christian can die for hungry. Once Salah comes, now the same thing. Muslim will die for where they are collecting rice. We can't continue this hungry organ. Poor party is too much. That is just to show. It's a shame. To Central Bank Governor, Jenika Doso, CBN Governor. You want to reduce 1,000 to disengage them from their work, and you expect to spend 50 trillion. Why? All you are listening is billion, 50 billion. You bought a vehicle, 6 vehicles, 10 billion.
You have just had, this is the country, the zoological republic we want to get out from. You see the lamentation of the people from the north. And they concur that Nigeria is not meant to stay, even though they are scared of going the way we are going. But they confirm that the zoological republic doesn't stand. And I want you to pay attention to their tone. Everything that you had in that very speech that I just played now is about tribe. You will see them, they are mentioning tribe. Either it's about Igbo, or it's about Yoruba, or it's about Hausa, or Fulani. Every speech in the zoo is about tribe. The dangerous diversity that is not meant to stay. Anybody that cares about humanity on this planet Earth should pray and join force in the destruction of that entity called Nigeria. Anybody that cares about human life should pray, not only pray, join force in the destruction of that entity called Nigeria, because it is not meant for human being. It is not meant for humanity. It's a place that humanity is destroyed. A place that humanity is under attack. That is what Nigeria is. A place that humanity is under attack. The confirmation is coming from the north, from the west, from the east. Every single person there, none of them agrees that that entity is supposed to live the next 1 minute. But for one reason or the other, the criminals have succeeded in promoting their own agenda and pushing forward what they want. All the politicians say it is about tribe and it is about themselves. Personal interest, personal interest, personal interest, not the interest of the masses. When Canadian courts said that Nigerian ruling parties are terrorist organizations, some of you think it's a joke. Some of you think they're not paying. They are watching. And they are seeing every single thing that is happening in that zoological republic. They see it.
I am Najat Muhammad, the founder and chairperson board of trustees for the Northern Star Youth Initiative. There is no retreat, no surrender, no apologies to Nuhurban. I'm speaking in response to the recent threats and intimidation by Nuhurban using his attack dogs and his lawyer Ahmed Raji and co. Regarding my statement that the then chairman of the ESCC had publicly accused the then governor of Lagos State, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, of being, and I quote, a corrupt government official who will not escape justice. While I acknowledge that Nuhurban might have forgotten or chosen to retract his comments from the past, I stand by my statement and do not believe an apology is warranted. Apology to whom exactly? To President Tinubu for the earlier comments made by his now National Security Advisor? Or apology to Nuhurban for his forgetfulness and master-serving mindset? I stand by my original statement and will not be retracting it. My words accurately reflect my views on the matter based on what is already in public domain. And I do not believe an apology or retraction is necessary. I will not compromise my position to appease Rubano and his attack dogs. I will not retract my statement, nor will I apologize for speaking the truth as I see it. No, Rubano, you have issues. As you have threatened, please go straight to court, but nothing will silence me. You must understand that you cannot intimidate me. No one can intimidate me. I live for posterity, not for people like you. I have, over the past 48 hours, received multiple threats, calls informing me that you seek to send your attack dogs on me. It is so unfortunate that your attack dogs need to notify me before arresting me. If this is the new standard of operations of your attack dogs, Nigerians must stop wondering why non-terrorists and bandits continue to evade arrest while truth sayers and patriots are being oppressed, detained, and threatened. Finally, I have just received reliable information that there is an existing attempt to subvert the judiciary for further intimidation, to force me into retracting my statement. No, Rubano, you have failed. You have failed the nation. You have failed your boss. You have failed yourself. I refuse to be intimidated. I'll continue to tell the truth as I that no amount of intimidation, no prison on earth is the judge afraid of. The only prison that I fear of is the prison that we all go into, that is our graves. But even that, I have no fear, because I live in harmony with my Creator. So, do your worst. The worst is best for you. I stand by what I say. I'll continue to say it. I don't care what you think or what you do. I stand by what I say. Long live the Federal Republic.
So you've had the discussion that was made and the defense that was put forward. In that very defense you saw there, she was talking about Nuhu Ribadu, the NSA of the present president of Nigeria. You know him, Nuhu Ribadu. This was the same person who was in charge of the EFCC, the same person that investigated Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And today, he is the NSA. You can imagine when such person becomes the National Security Advisor, the same person that have much information about the so-called Tinubu, and all of a sudden has now become an angel. Now you understand why the Biafrans wants to walk away from the Zoological Republic. That is why they want to leave. And who in his right senses will see all these things and still remain in the contraption called Nigeria? Nobody will. No sensible person will see all this and continue to be part of that arrangement. We have several confirmations and several videos that proves that this can never work. And what we are asking for and what we are crying for is actually what every other person is complaining about. It has never worked, and it will never work. Every time there is a plan to make the place succeed, the politicians and those who are in power make sure it doesn't succeed. And I want you also to listen to this very video of how they exploited the Ajakuta Steel program. I want you to pay attention. Listen to this.
Telling them that, look, we are nearly completing the plant, but we cannot complete the 2% because we need the infrastructure set up. Because once the 2%, which is largely the blast furnace, once it's ignited, the blast furnace is to run for 18 to 25 years non-stop. That means many people say, why did the Russians really wanted the Ajakuta to work? Why did they leave at 2%, at 98%? It's because if they had started, we would have had a wholesome damage. And for these 3 years, which was more than enough to have the infrastructure running, the roads, dredging. At that time, they even proposed the dredging of River Niger, but not one letter was responded to, and they had to leave. It was a sad experience, they had to leave. It was more sad because, like I said, people like me, many Russians that came to Nigeria and got married to Nigerians, they were separated. My mother today does not even have a Nigerian passport, even though my father wasn't working, but the rules were not so prevalent. So when they left, I'll read now, in October, when the Russians left, and we had such huge debt to pay, they did not take Nigeria to court. They kept us sending letters of reminder. How are you going to pay this? But most importantly, they reminded Nigeria, if you are interested in this, continuing the completion of your plans, let us know. We would come back. All we have to do is renegotiate. But what happened was, in October 1995, I'm going to read from this part because there are some key words I don't want to miss. A series of debt buyback transactions took place, whereby the debt instruments were sold at inflated prices to Liberian companies, purportedly owned by the Abachas. The two companies are called Parnell Shipping Corporation and Necos Securities. These are two companies that were registered in Liberia, and these are the two companies that bought their party debts. Now, on one part, Ghana Shipping Corporation and Coastal Securities, on one part, they were negotiating the reduction of that near $1 billion debt. And Russia waved away over 400 million. I said, you know what? A struggling country, a small country, just pay $500 million. Forget about the rest. While on the other hand, the Abacha administration told Nigeria that the Russians insisted on the money on the near 1 million, and apart from that, there were debts incurred upon the debt buyback. So that amounted to 2.5 billion. So that means 2.5 billion were taken from our reserve, while only 500 billion was paid. So that is the debt buyback. 2014. The Egyptian government embarked upon a huge project to dualize the Suez Canal. And that Suez Canal, the presidency sold the idea so patriotically to the people that $8 billion was raised in 10 days. Mr. Speaker, these are facts. $8 billion was raised in 10 days from a country that has a population of just 91 million. They don't have individuals as rich as Nigeria. But what matters is leadership and the ability to connect to the people so that an average person on the street, the person roasting corn, the organizer, everybody will believe in this national dream. And the crime against Ajakuta is a crime against Nigeria. And there is no court, supposing this $525 million was actually an order of the greatest court on earth. Nigeria is a sovereign nation, and we decide to allow criminals or not to allow criminals into our land, whether they are nationals, Nigerians, or foreign. So, sir, it's actually Nigeria's duty to ensure that people who have committed crimes on this land are not holding our most precious assets. Also, we say that Ajakuta and Itakwe must not be privatized or possession, but be owned 100% by the federal government of Nigeria and operated alongside the original builders only in areas of technical expertise. And once there is an absolute transfer of technology, the Russians can go. We believe we have seen Nigerians around the world conducting amazing things in engineering, so there's no reason why they shouldn't. We would also like to appeal that this Honorable House asks to get the executive to assemble a team of economic experts to travel to Russia, which I'm speaking with regards to the bilateral agreement, which is still opening, but standing open. Because we believe that once a country or two countries come together and agree on a particular reasoning, then that is binding on the nations. It's upon meeting with President Putin that Nigeria can then begin to decide the way forward. And I also agree with the previous speakers that there has to be a redesign of the steel sector. Why a redesign? Because when I visited Russia 2 years ago and I spoke with the original builders, they told me that the plan upon which the Nigeria steel industry is built, it was designed in 1971 by the geological survey conducted by these same original builders. And they said by now, the advancement of technologies and innovation in the sector has caused the realization and usage of new materials which were ordinarily not known to them then. They also told me that we might be oblivious of the fact that Rolls-Royce today, the great Rolls-Royce, uses important alloys sourced from Kogi State, probably supplied by legal miners. But that is why I say it is very important that we call them back to conduct another survey, because probably in the modernization and upgrade of the plant, there could be new sectors that are injected, so that new minerals can be incorporated. Thank you. And I would will say again that I know many will talk about why am I promoting Russia? Why am I not promoting China and India? With due respect to every country's steel capabilities, the greatest steel plants in China today and 5 of the biggest steel plants in India, citing Belial, which for the 12th consecutive year has won the best steel plant in Asia, was built by this same company. So why is a very big question. What has Russia done, and why are we shying away from approaching the people who actually envisage this dream of competition? Nigeria must be ready for sanctions. That's one thing I'm going to say. It's not easy to go against the Western Bloc. We must be ready for sanctions because at the end of the day, we must dream of a big, great Nigeria. Because for all it's worth, trade is always better than aid. Trade is always better than aid. Nigeria should position itself to be a country that will give other African countries aid. We should be the country that Ghana, Kenya, Somalia, Uganda, they run to for loans. Not all of us scrambling for loans from the Chinese.
This very video exposes one of the greatest fraud in the Zoological Republic. You know, most of the videos I play here, some of you who are very interested in saga will not like it. Some of you who are interested in basketball, you want to hear about your brother issue. But now, I am focusing on speaking to the international communities, more especially Finland, for them to know the reason why we don't want to be part of Nigeria. The Ajokuta Steel project is one of the greatest fraud committed against that Zoological Republic itself. Ajokuta Steel. And these are why we don't want to be part of this madness. And when I say there is nobody that is a Nigerian, all this fraud confirms it. That anything that will make the zoo to succeed, you will see people that will stand against it. The same people who are there, they will stand against it and make sure it doesn't work. Any move to make the zoo succeed, they will stand against it to make sure it doesn't see the light of the day. We don't want to be part of Nigeria. And that is why today the Biafran people are speaking and speaking loud. Nigeria is the only place where the citizens prefer to die in prison abroad than to come home. Nigerians prefer to remain in prison than to come back to Nigeria because they don't have a home. Anybody that have a home, as in also when they are chasing you outside, you run back to your home. That is what the right thing to do. But when you don't have a home, when they are chasing you, where are you going to run to? It is only Nigeria that their citizens are abroad. Instead of them to come back home, they prefer to jump from story building and kill themselves. Many have committed suicide just because they don't want to come back to Nigeria. They commit suicide. When the Biafrans are saying, we don't want to be part of this madness, it is not just because it is to save life. The only remedy to save life remains Biafra. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, whether you get angry, you don't get angry. Listen.
Anything to be at the of this country. And when I was in the Algeria, Jenet, there is a state called Jenet in Algeria. They arrest us in desert. I was trying to escape through desert to Europe. That was they take us to their tent, to their prison, after judging us, they take us to their prison. And you know the way they take us. And they feed me as if I'm in my father's house. In the morning, they will give me rice. In the afternoon, they will give me. In the night, they will give me tea and bread. The next day, they will give me tea in the morning. In the afternoon, they will give me chicken, full chicken. We have many Nigerians many there. And when
Did you hear that? This is somebody who is testifying that he found himself in prison. Not even in Europe, in prison, in North Africa. This is not even Europe, North Africa. They had opportunity to learn work. They can eat their meals. And when they wanted to send them back and deport them after they have served, they don't want to go. That they prefer to remain back in prison than to go back to Nigeria. They prefer to, only Nigerian person can say that he would prefer to be in prison. Look at the testimony of the guy. Listen to him what he said.
They want to deport us back to Nigeria. I was crying. I was telling them, no, I'm not going to this prison. I said, I don't mean to be this prison. They said no. They said no. You must come back to our country. One of us was crying. Didn't put any furniture. Maybe I let have to repair it. This person was jobs in that prison. And this time they see me, I fall. If you see my friend, I say, God, in that prison, I'm living like a king. I think people need to travel and see that we're blessed in our own country. We are suffering in Nigeria. I prayed Nigeria government.
I've lost him. I've lost him. I've lost him. Someone said to me that he...
You can imagine. This is North Africa, Algeria to be precise. In Algeria, prison. A Nigerian they want to deport him. He said no, they should leave them to remain in prison. There they are learning handwork. They eat their food. They live like kings. And when it comes to deport them back to their country, they said no, they prefer to remain in prison. Only a Nigerian can prefer to be in prison abroad than to go back home. You see why it is necessary that Biafra break out of Nigeria? It is, you see why nothing will stop us from breaking out of Nigeria. Nothing. Nothing will stop us from breaking out from Nigeria.
I've lost him. I've lost him. Someone said to me that he traveled through the desert and he was arrested in Tunisia, a Nigerian, and he said he was put in prison. Well, he said he was put in a place where they stored asylum, illegal migrants or something like that. And he told me, and his best experience was the food. He said it was how they fed. He said they were fed. He said that he drank that given milk every day.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So there's a prison in Venice. The prison has a job system where the prisoners create cosmetics. So you go to school, you learn how to make cosmetics, and the prison makes cosmetics for some of the top Venice hotels. So you go to a restaurant, you go to a hotel where you're paying $2,000, $3,000 a night, and your cosmetics, your soap, is made by prisoners.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? These are things we can do even better than every other person. And that is why we want to move away from the zoological republic called Nigeria. And nothing will stop us from going out of Nigeria. Nothing. We have made up our mind that we are going to walk away from the zoo. No amount of propaganda, no amount of blackmail, no amount of lie will hold us back from getting out of the zoological republic. That death trap, we will escape that death trap. We will escape that death trap. No matter how they do it, no matter their lies, their propaganda, we must get out of it. And I want every one of you to listen to this very one. If you're a Biafran, you must prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. The message that our Prime Minister preached, and Master that kind of preach, was message of defense, that we should defend ourselves. They are not the only one that's preaching it. Every region, every tribe is preaching the same message, are going around with the same message. There is no other solution to our problem except Biafra. Biafra is the only remedy It does not matter if you like, no matter how it sounds in your ear, it is up to you. However you want to understand it, it is up to you. But I will tell you that Biafra remains the only remedy. The only remedy, no matter what you see, no matter what you hear, no matter the propaganda and the blackmail, Biafra is the only remedy. And the earlier every one of us understand that, the better for all of us. Biafra is the only remedy to the problem we are facing today. And until we do the needful, nothing is going to change. Hear this.
Akara m ihe mbe na-eme mbe si ma atụrụ ofu ukwu ehi ma nke ọzọ mụ atụrụ ihe niile ma ụkwụ ya ma aka ya na isi ya ma olu ya anyị ka dobiri wee pụọ na nke onwe anyị chigata azụ etu anyị nọ tupu ndị ọcha wee bịa ebe a nwa aha obodo ebe a nwe ndị mmadụ n'ime tupu nwa bekee si ebe o si hapụ obodo ya ọ bịa ebe a ọkpọrọ onye nke ọkpọrọ oke nke ọkpọrọ oke afọ nakata anyị isi ọ sị na ụbọchị nke taa na anya aha na-ewuzi Naijiria anyị na-aza aha na-enweghị obibi n'ime ya ihe mgbagụgasị biko kọwara m ihe Naijiria pụtara iwe ekweghị kọwara m ọmụwa ga-aza aha osimiri ka osimiri ga-aza aha mụnwa n'ihi ya anyị na-ekwu na ebe ahụ gidere ụlọ anọ ọ jọgburu onwe ya ọ dịghị mma Naijiria gaghị emekọtakwa ihe ọzọ ihe ọjọọ emego n'obodo a arụ emego egbugo ndị be anyị aka na-egbukwa anyị ndị Fulani wetiri na mabata be anyị ka na-egbukwa ndị be anyị n'ụtụtụ echi a na-asị na ọ ga-adị mma oge ọ na-ekwu ka enwe mmekọrịta bụ nke ndị ụlọ ka nke ndị ụmụnne ha ekwesịghị anyị ọtụtụ mgbe ha kpara anyị asị onye nkajọ na-ajụ onwe ya ha jụrụ anyị aja ama njụ onwe anyị agbanyeghị na anyị nwe ngwa ahịa n'ugwu Awụsa agbanyeghị na anyị na-azụ ahịa ebe niile dị iche iche na-eme nke ọma kama onye gara ndụ pakụ onye rere ihe niile ọ ndụ bụ isi ka anyị na-ekwu okwu ya ka anyị chenyata azụ ebe a ruo obodo anyị ka o wee maa mma wee ka ajọ obodo ndị ọcha na mma ọhịa anyị na-arịọ nwoke na ugwu nwee mkpali ugwu n'ime onwe anyị ọnwa anyị pụọ n'iro a na-etigbu anyị pụọ n'iro ekwu kwasị ọbụla ma anyị ji wee kwuo okwu ọnwụ ihe ndị a ka anyị si na anaghị anabatakwa ya ọzọ
akụkọ kọrọ anyị bụ na ọkụkọ na elu aka na nzukọ anụmanụ a na-enwezi mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ịchụ anyị ejiri ọkụkọ ịchụ anyị mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ime ka Naijiria dị n'otu nwa ha na-etosibụ mkpa na mkpụrụ ndị Igbo ọ pụtara na anyị bụ ọkụkọ n'otu ka ọ pụtara na anyị eziga aka ha nzukọ mere ya nweghị eji eme anyị bụ ndị Igbo ụdị na ọbara ndị Igbo ahụ kwafụ Naijiria kaja
ọ bụ site na akpamasị ihe na-eme anyị dịka ihe mee ndị ji oge mgbe gara aga echi ọkụkọ mba niile dị iche iche ji gba ụmụ Izrel asị a na-egbu ha a na-egbu ha a na-egbu ha afọ niile aka na-egbu ha o wee ruo oge ugbu anyị asị na ogbugbu a na-egbu anyị na ọ dịghị anyị mma ọ ka mma na onwe ihe egwu anyị mgbe nwere onwe njem a ka anyị na-aga kama na na-esi etete n'ụtụtụ asị na onwe onye gburu ebe a nwa ha na-ekwu odo na onye nwe onye n'aka ụkọchukwu n'ugwu Awụsa ebepụ isi ọnwụ ofu ugboro ọnwụ ugboro abụọ ọnwụ ugboro atọ ọnwụ ugboro anọ ọ bụ ruo ole mgbe ka a ga-egbugide anyị wee rue anyị asị mba na anyị ga-aga ka enwe ike wee nwere onwe anyị ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere onwe tupu na anyị nọ n'ụlọ etu a mmadụ ga ọbata n'ime ụlọ mbịa bupụ isi a sị na achọghị ụdị nka ọ bụghị anyị maka a ga-eji wee chụọ aja ọzọ.
You have heard it. These are strong messages from our leaders. So wherever you are, you must know that Nigeria is not meant to be. Whether you are a Biafran or non-Biafran. Nigeria was not made for you. It was not created for you to succeed. It was not meant for you to see good. It was meant to create destruction, to create havoc. It was meant to see that we do not succeed. And we must take ourselves away from this calamity. Nobody will do it for us. Only we are going to save ourselves. if we refuse to do the needful, we will continue to languish in complaint. We will continue to languish all the days of our life.
Until you beat yourself and you know you're not truly. Let me ask all of you one simple question. You idiotic Nigerians, the most hopeless, useless people on the face of this land. Who started carrying AK-47 in Nigeria? Who are the people that started carrying AK-47 in Nigeria that are not the police or the army or navy? Who are they? Answer my question. Who are the people that started carrying AK-47 in broad daylight? If you go to YouTube and Google it, Nnamdi at Izu River. How many years ago was that? I want to ask all of you now shouting, they have militia, they're forming militia. I want to ask you, who were the first people to have a militia in Nigeria? Miyetiala? Were they arrested? They said, if you see anybody with AK-47, shoot that person. How many Fulani terrorists have they shot since last week or 2 weeks ago? I keep asking, people I shouldn't say, but I have to honestly. In my next life, I cannot be a black man, I cannot come close to Africa. I'm telling you the truth. Your stupidity is second to none. Your stupidity is second to none. God is my second to none. I have never seen a bunch of more idiotic people on this earth. Today they're shouting. Because now that we have what they have, they are angry and they're shouting. And all of you are idiotically doing their line. Because you're a Nigerian. And by nature, you're very foolish. Especially those of us from the south. Very, very foolish. Very more than foolish. You see how the Fulanis are organizing themselves. All their governors, they are in tandem. Everybody knows their job. Their job is to conquer every nationality. That is their job. And they are singing from the same bullshit. All of them, from Atiku Abubakar to the last person, claiming he or she is a moderate. They know what they're doing. And all of you, as always, from the south, you're shouting, you're one Nigeria, and I'm thinking, what sort of school did some of you go to? Yet Yala finally accepts that their so-called headers are bandits, terrorists in Nigeria. Yet Yala. Why do they accept? Because of the consistency you find here on this platform, Radio Biafra. Because of the consistency of the indigenous, no other person, no other group. I'm telling you, and that of course the moment. Nigeria, that Nigerians, those that are saved, the few people that we have managed to save so far, across ethnic divide, is because of this platform, Radio Biafra, and what IPOB has been doing. When we are screaming and shouting that they will take you over, they say, you're dreaming, it cannot happen. We're in the 21st century. What is happening today? It was because IPOB punctured their plan. That is why they incensed. That was why they came to kill me. That was why they came to the people in my compound. That is the reason why my parents are dead. That is the reason why my relatives, those who suffered the trauma, some of them are still dying. I have an announcement to make later on. Because IPOB discovered their plan and destroyed it 2 years in advance. That's why they're upset. That's why they're angry with us. That's why they prescribe. When they write, they prescribe IPOB. Even the Yoruba journalist in Lagos writing prescribed, the idiot knows very well that we yet are the returns in Nigeria. You know, in those days in Aba, when we see as children, we used to observe people be shouting, hey, Tifo, Oyoshi. They want to stone or kill that very person. So, you know, they want to met out the kind of a mob justice against the individual. The individual will turn around and start. I will now join the mob to be shouting, Tifo, catch him. So you don't know who is the Tifo. That was the game, the clever game that Fulani Janjaweed played on all of you. Once you rise up to point them out for who they are, they say, no, kiss them from the kill him. And all of you from the south, as idiotic as you always have been, because Hanazikiwe and Awodowo grew up their acts together to see more sex will be happening. The same idiocy then is now okay. Of course, you destroyed it. It's no longer happening. Do you understand? Are you now beginning to see why our tonight's program is like no order? You know me, I don't take business. I don't give a damn. I don't give a toss what you think, what you might gossip about tomorrow. That is your useless business. It's not mine. You know, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Who are the bandits and arrested people? Yet here I've been telling you from the one. Today they opened their mouths to say we are the terrorists. And on the same day that Mietela is saying we are the terrorists, that same day that the army is saying we are going to the south to bomb everybody, to kill everybody. Not to bomb Mietela or to arrest them. No. I said by their own admission, from their own mouth. I'll read it for you. It's news from the zoo. Do you see where we formed ESN? Eastern Security Network. It is because of ESN. That is why you have not been colonized. So you can see what they're doing here. Do you know that Yoruba people are refugees in the Republic? Essentially, some of you don't even know what is going on. Out of shame, some Yoruba people don't want to carry it. Out of shame. Because if they carry it, they will say that this is the fulfillment of the prophecy carried out by Nnamdi Kanu many years ago. I told them, you will suffer. You will suffer. You will suffer it. The same thing we suffer the Biafra, you will suffer it. Get your acts together. Do you know that there are Yoruba people in the Republic as refugees in refugee camps? And they are busy, they are idiotic editors in Lagos writing to Skype. Whereas his relatives are in the Republic as refugees. Who sent them as refugees? The same person that is telling him, no, please call IPOB to Skype. The same idiot telling him to and he write it is the same person responsible for sending his family on should I say, into refugee camp in the Republic. But the editor of maybe Punch or all these idiotic papers in the West, they went to school. They're intellectuals. The version of intellectualism in Nigeria, sometimes I wonder, seriously, I'm perplexed. You're a journalist and you went to school. And you're intellectual, yes. Somebody from Abuja, foreign agent, will call you and say, I saw the report yesterday. You did not say that Nnamdi Kanu is a fugitive, that IPOB is prescribed. Why? You say, okay, sir, I'll correct, Fulani will rule forever, sir. No problem. Okay, your money is on the way. You get a lot soon. A lot of 4,600 naira. And then that same phone you're using to answer a call from a Janjaweed from Abuja, you get a call from your village to tell that your mother has been killed, your uncle killed, your relatives have now fled to the Republic as refugees, and you're an editor in Lagos, Punch newspaper, writing prescribed. Whereas the same people have now prescribed your village, and you are now in the Republic. Who is the fool? I feel sorry for these people.
That is how bad it is for the Zoological Republic. And that brings us to the end of the evening program. We're going to see you again tomorrow morning. As always, it is weekend. We're going to have our weekend program. So try as much as possible to be available on time so that we can kick it off tomorrow evening and do the needful. Thank you so much for being part of the program. May Chukwu guide and protect all of you. And may Chukwu and secure our leaders. Thank you so much and stay blessed. See you next time.
Nigeria don't enter one chance, I swear, I go with the go so. Herdsmen, they kill us every day, for them busy, they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, then they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we they are they run to? Who be that? I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat your love. Something on the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive am. We have up where this government they cause na time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come oh. It dey very close I dey feel am oh. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. Moving on. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collected bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. But now them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.